Hello, I just wanted to get on here and talk about the time that I took Concerta for my ADHD because I had some very strange experiences on it, very abnormal, even for other people who take this drug. So, the reason I was on it was because there was a shortage of Adderall at the time, and I wanted to be able to make sure that I could actually get a hold of the ADHD medication that I was prescribed. And, the psychiatrist that I had agreed and switched me to Concerta, which is also known as methylphenidate. And it's also the same thing as Ritalin. Ritalin is just what it's called when it's the short acting form, and Concerta is long acting. She put me on a lower end dosage of it. I don't remember exactly what it was. Also, it's important to note that I had also recently had been in a drug trial for an unnamed drug for depression, but I didn't notice these side effects until I had been off of that drug for maybe 5 weeks, and maybe there was like a week in between when I stopped taking the drug trial drug and started the Concerta, and then I was on the Concerta for like 3 or 4 weeks. I think 4 weeks, yeah, like 30, it was more than 30 days before I really noticed side effects from the Concerta. But the side effects, they kind of crept up on me and started off really subtle, and I kept blaming them on stress, and it just was unbelievable because it seemed like it was more like like reality glitching, but not necessarily. It just wasn't. Yeah, there weren't like too many physical side effects. So the first one that I noticed was my partner kept telling me that I was repeating myself, even though I didn't think that I was. Like I kind of knew that I was, but they made it sound like I was doing it a lot, and that just kind of freaked me out because I felt like maybe I'm saying things and then forgetting that I'm saying them, which freaked me out even more when I realized that it did seem like there were certain times when time would skip ahead, or that I would get so lost in my head and my thoughts that I wouldn't really be feeling my body. What I was thinking at the time was I was just really, really stressed out, and I just um, couldn't think straight, which of course, not being able to think straight and having brain fog are the things that I was hoping that the Concerta would fix. The next thing that I noticed was, um, especially late at night, but really just really it was kind of at all times. I would notice that just these weird cartoony sounding voices, you might say voices in my head. I mean, I could kind of tell it was my imagination. And again, I just thought that I'm so stressed out that, of course, my mind is making fun of me, or I'm making fun of myself in my head. But there was just a certain quality to the particular noise in my head that just isn't my normal inner dialogue at all. Like exaggerated, cartoony sounding voices just nagging at me or mocking me or commenting on my life situation in different ways. And it made it even harder to really think, okay, but like, what am I supposed to do? I was trying to switch positions at work, but it was a situation where um, they were trying me out in a new position, but they could still send me back. So I was worried about failing and being, you know, sent back, not able to transfer. Like, it made sense that I would be stressed out, but I just don't normally experience it like this with weird voices. And then um, can't keep my thoughts straight, can't really figure out what's going on, not really sure if the problem was me or them or what even had happened. I started to really feel like I couldn't remember my past correctly. And I kept thinking like maybe I should be like daily writing things down or something, because it just seems like I'm not even remembering it right. Which was really bad because of course I'm trying to learn something new things, and I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly what it is that I've learned. This is exactly the type of problem I thought that Concerta would fix, like being able to focus and learn and study and do something new. And it did the complete opposite. When at the worst that it got, it made me really concerned because I started to feel so stressed out that it it felt like something was taking over control of my body, maybe, or something, or like it felt like this, like buzzing around particularly my face, like my my mouth. I remember going kind of numb at one point, and I wasn't sure what was going on. Like I couldn't be 100% sure what I had just said or done, because I'm like, I couldn't remember my past very clearly. And I remember my coworkers treating me like I was working exceptionally slowly when I didn't think that I was. Like, it just seemed like time kept skipping ahead for me, and I'm like, there's no way that that's happening. Like, I don't feel like I was losing consciousness, but not, but like it seemed like maybe it was, though. I'm like, there's no way. Like, I know that that's not, but then the way people are reacting around me, I was like, maybe it is. Because I mean, if you lost time, you wouldn't know unless you literally were looking at a clock and saw it happen. It just but it got to the point with enough instances where I just couldn't deny it. I was like, something is off with me. Like I don't seem to be able to work quickly like I normally do. But I thought a lot of it was stress. It was really hard to pinpoint that it was because of the new drug for me, because it seemed like a lot of the side effects continued on days when I wasn't taking the drug. But what I should have researched, what I now know, is I had seen that Concerta really, it stays in your system for a while, like about 5 days. It also got really, really hard to keep track of things. Like, I'd forget where I had put my phone, I'd forget where I'd put my wallet, in a way that, yes, that happens to me because I have ADHD, but it was way worse. It was like, no, I literally just put that there. Where did it go? It was really, really freaking me out. I'm trying so hard to focus on what am I doing? Where are my hands? What's in front of me? Was really impossible to just function. So then what happened next was really scary. I woke up one morning and the room around me looked different. Like, it sort of, I want to say, if I remember right, it was like if I focused on certain things, it would look the way that it normally had looked. But when I took in the room as a whole, it just seemed like it looked cleaner, and also just like a completely different room. So at that point, it was like a full-blown hallucination, pretty much. I still was just thinking, I got really stressed out. But yeah, that was pretty much my experience taking Concerta. I'm not saying not to take it. I'm just saying that if you have ADHD and if you ever end up on this drug, to just be aware. Really, a broader thing to keep in mind is just if you switch to any medication, start taking a journal when you start taking the new medication and really notice anything off. I would almost say it's a good idea if you're on a new any kind of psychiatric medication. Um, like I heard this terrible horror story about this guy who took Paxil and then started having some weird thoughts. But it's like your mind will fight against you, and any all of your thoughts, they'll seem rational. It almost seems like what you should do is take a medication for a while, then go off of it for a while, and get your brain back to where it used to be, and then compare. Do something to talk to your doctor about. But that's for this situation for me is definitely what I wish that I had been advised to do. Is like my thinking got too clouded and confused when I was on the Concerta to really assess my situation, my thinking correctly. I started to think, have I always thought like this? And I really, I kind of knew that wasn't the case, but I just thought that it was stress. It wasn't until I was off of the Concerta for quite a few weeks that I was able to look back and be like, no, that clearly was because of the Concerta. Do your research and your due diligence when you're on a new drug. Definitely keep a journal and really find someone you can trust that can help to tell you if you're acting differently, and just stay safe out there, really. All right.